Hi, everybody. Dave Kincaid here, and we have a special guest for you today. We've got Katelyn Gannon with Employabilities. And so, Katelyn, thanks so much for I guess, coming on the show today.
Oh, thank you for having me, David.
Let's first talk about Employabilities. What is Employabilities? And what do you guys do over there?
So Employabilities is an agency that supports people with barriers to employment, helping them get the skills they need to get into employment, and then also helping them find employment where they are supported and can stay long-term.
Where are you guys based out of?
So our head office is in Edmonton. My program, specifically the Strive for Work program, is located in St. Albert, and then we have other locations across Alberta.
Yeah, okay, I want to talk to you about the Strive for Work program because I get asked a lot on my website. We get a lot of traffic about programs that are out there for hiring employees. So why don't you walk us through the Strive for Work program?
Yeah, for sure. So Strive for Work is an 18-week program. We have 8 weeks of employment skills training. So we have participants come in 10 at a time, and they do 8 weeks of skills training, 25 hours a week they put into that. It covers things like, standard first aid certification, intermediate Microsoft Office skills, service best customer service training, WMIS, workplace hazardous materials. What else? Lots of stuff. Resume writing, interview skills, basically everything that they might need to be successful in a work placement. After they complete their 8 weeks of skills training, they go into a 10-week work placement in the community. So we work with local employers that are willing to take on participants from us. We offer those employers a wage subsidy for 10 weeks when they take on one of our participants. We help them to get their foot in the door somewhere. At the end of that 10 weeks, hopefully they leave with some valuable work experience, hopefully some references that they can use in the future, or potentially best case scenario, the employer chooses to keep them on permanently.
Yeah, for sure. So let's start with first the employers, and then we'll come back to the participants who you're looking for. So on the employer side of things, is there a certain type of employer you're looking for?
No, we're open to pretty much anything. What we try and do is match the employer with the participant. So if the participant has a specific field that they're interested in, we look for employers in that field. And mostly we're just looking for employers that are going to be a little bit understanding and willing to maybe do things in a bit of a different way than maybe their normal routine, so that we can accommodate some of the barriers our participants come along with.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of misconceptions around someone with a barrier to employment.
Yeah.
So can you talk a bit about that and the relationship with employers?
Yeah, for sure. So sometimes when people say the word disability, it kind of makes everyone, like back off a little bit, right? That can be a scary word for an employer. So barrier is kind of less intimidating of a word, and it encompasses a whole lot more than disability does. So when we say that someone has a barrier to employment, that can be anything from a physical disability where they're in a wheelchair, to mental health, they struggle with anxiety, to they were a stay-at-home mom for 10 years and they're trying to get back into the workforce, but they don't have work experience on their resume. It can be someone who dropped out of high school and started their own business, but is looking to do something else now, but they don't have that high school diploma, which can be a barrier when you're, say, applying on Indeed or something where you have to check these boxes and they automatically get bumped out because they didn't check high school diploma. So a barrier is really anything that anyone identifies as being something that makes it difficult for them to get back into work.
So what's the best case scenario? Is it an employer reaching out to you or you reaching out to the employer?
So it mostly goes us reaching out to employers, but I mean, if employers were reaching out to us, that would be amazing as well. We have a job developer on staff. She goes out and meets with employers, drops in at all the businesses in the area, explains our program to them, and tries to get them on board.
So yeah, it's pretty incredible. So basically, if you're an employer out there and you're watching this video, you can approach, I guess, Katelyn or someone on your team and say, hey, look, we're looking to hire somebody. So will you guys actually help them find the employee as well?
Yes, we help match. So if an employer were to reach out to me and give me a list of what they're kind of looking for an employee, I would look at my list of participants and see who would be a good fit.
That's amazing. And then so it's not only, and so you'll provide training to that person. So if the person, the employer in this case, had some specific skills that they were looking for, you guys could potentially cover that in the training period even before they go there.
Yeah, for sure. Like we have people who are interested in working in the restaurant industry. In the restaurant industry, you need things like food safe and pro-serve if you're dealing with alcohol. So if an employer says that's what they need, we make sure they get those skills before they even get hired.
That's incredible. And so once they're during the, I guess, the 10 weeks,
Yeah.
um, I heard you over, did they check, do you check in and say, hey, how
Yeah.
are things going? You do as well.
Yeah, we offer supports as needed. So we will do, usually if everything's going well, 2 check-ins during the 10 weeks. We just meet with the employer, meet with the participant, and make sure everything's still going smoothly. Obviously, if there's any issues or anyone needs further support, then we can come in as much as needed.
Okay. And the wage subsidy, is that sort of half the salary or something like that? How does that work?
Yeah, so standard wage subsidy that we offer is $7.50 per hour for every hour a participant works. That's based on a wage of $15 an hour. We are looking at entry-level positions most
Yeah.
of the time.
Mm-hmm.
However, when we're working with small local businesses, nonprofits, that sort of thing, we can bump up that wage subsidy if it means we can get a placement.
Okay, cool. Now, the region, is it all, you said St. Albert, the program's there, but do you serve, like, I imagine your participants are from all over the Edmonton area. Is that true? So that it can be employers all around?
So it's made a bit of a switch. Originally, when we started, it was pretty much St. Albert, maybe some Sturgeon County and Morinville, because we were doing in person. And one of the barriers a lot of our participants face is transportation. So it was very close to St. Albert. Now we've switched to an online program due to the COVID restrictions. So now we're getting people from, all over Edmonton and area because they no longer have to come to our site every day. They can do it all through a video conference just like this. So it's really opened things up there.
It's funny, how some of this video conferences has opened up a lot of stuff like that. Now,
Yeah.
in terms of, a lot of people come to my site and they're either looking for a job or start a business or
Mhm.
so. If who are people? I know you mentioned a couple there earlier, but who are you looking for? Who would make great candidates to accept this program? And when do you start? I'll slip that in there too.
Yeah, for sure. So anyone who's 18 years or older, there's no age maximum. So you could be 100 and want to be in our program. That's great. Um, and someone who has an identifiable barrier to employment. Now, a lot of people think that they have to go get a diagnosis from a doctor. That's not necessary. It's a self-disclosed barrier. So like I talked about those barriers earlier, anything you identify as getting in the way of you getting employment. As well, you have to not qualify for EI. So that's our biggest one. So if you're someone that has a lot of full-time work experience, likely you won't qualify for our program because you qualify for EI. We're government funded, so it's kind of double dipping if someone were to access both. So the government specifies that they can't be eligible for EI if they want to use our program.
Okay, cool. Is there anything, sounds like a really great program. And I was wondering, is there anything else you wanted to add, or how can people reach out to you as well?
Yeah, so, also I forgot to answer your question about when the next one starts.
Oh, right.
So our next one starts January 4th. It is online. If anyone's interested in applying for that program, we are currently taking applications now. So they would just reach out to me through phone. We start by doing a phone intake. From there, we check eligibility with the government. That's checking that EI piece. And then after that, if they are eligible for our program, we do an interview assessment with them, also virtually. And from there, we choose 10 people to start on the January 4th start date. Each of our programs starts about one every 3 or 4 months. So after January, I think the next one starts in April after that. We're currently taking applications for that January start date. We have another group that's just finishing up here, so they're looking to get into that work placement. So if there's businesses that are looking to hire, interested in that wage subsidy, now's the time to get in contact with me. Again, phone or email works.
Okay, what is the like your phone and email and your website would be great so people can find you.
Yeah, so my phone number is 780-777-5834. That's a direct line to me. My email is katelyn@employabilities.ab.ca. So that's KATELYNG@employabilities.ab.ca. And website is employabilities.ca. You'll see all of our programs listed there. So you'll just have to go to Strive for Work, or if you're in Edmonton and are interested in any of the Edmonton programs, they're on there as well.
That's awesome, Katelyn. Well, this has been really helpful. Was there anything else, Katelyn, you wanted to add before we leave, or?
No, I think that's everything. Just thank you so much, David, for giving us this opportunity.
Yeah, no, we'll shoot it out to our email list. So by all means, if you're an employer, you heard Katelyn, she said they would love it if you reach out to them. So please do that and get a relationship going there, because it could be a great opportunity for your business and also
Yeah, for
for
sure.
some Albertan out there. Katelyn, thanks so much for your time and hope you have a great day.
Thank you, David. You too.
Yeah, that's great.